Welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing Delta Green tonight, and we are continuing our Impossible Landscapes campaign, which took a wonderful turn last week. We'll get to the summary in a moment, but we are into part 3. It's a 4-part campaign. I would put us at roughly, midway part 3, but considering the events of last week, that might kind of put a delay in some progress. We'll see how it goes, judging from their decisions and what they want to do tonight. As you can see, we haven't fired Ashley, but Ashley's name's marked out because, spoiler alert, I stabbed her in the face and she died. So, yeah, not Ashley, I guess. I'm technically Chelsea. That would be bad if it was Ashley. So, yeah. So I've run 2 Delta Green sessions in a row where I've killed a character, so I'm going for the trifecta tonight. So we'll see if I can do that. So I don't know who I'm taking out, but one of you aren't making it home. So anyway, other things we do, we play other games. So tomorrow on Saturday, we're going to be playing some Blades in the Dark. We're going to be wrapping up our first season of that before we dive into some Halloween games. Then on Monday, we're back to Alien, where we are exploring a abandoned facility out beyond the known network of space. And let's see, Melissa and I will be over on the Sirenscape channel on Tuesdays. We've been playing Call of Cthulhu. There's a couple of those vids up every Friday. They drop them on YouTube. So if you want to check Sirenscape's YouTube channel, you can see the past episodes. And Wednesday over on DOK, Defenders of Cobalt, our friends. And Thursday, more Delta Green on Garblack Games, which is a completely different feel than this campaign, which is wonderful. I like it, like the players,
group of agents.
Yeah, the players, the characters they came up with, and then like the actual camp. It's just totally different, but they're both just ridiculously fun. So you should come check out that as well. Ashley, who are you? Tell us about Ashley.
I'm rather boring myself. What do you want to know?
What video games you playing these days?
I've been playing a lot of New World and Animal Crossing. New Horizons.
Okay. All right. Right on.
Gabe hooked up his game capture card so I can stream it now.
Nice. Okay. So Ashley died last week. Her
yes,
character.
I did.
So we will introduce who Ashley will be playing when the story allows for it. Which means that Ashley could just be hanging out in chat for a while. Could mean she shows up in the first 10 minutes. No one knows, not even me. Just sort of, we'll see how it plays out. Next to Ashley, we've got Long. Long, who are you? Who are you playing?
I am playing Agent Vessel, a former FBI hostage rescue team. And he's pretty much just had it with this unnatural stuff. But he's thinking like maybe it's better just to team up with it.
Yeah, had it with this unnatural stuff. That's a probably a fair assessment. It's been rough, especially the second time around. Like, you guys have really been through the ringer recently. Some stuff has really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the bottom row, we've got Derek. Derek, who are you playing?
Yes, I am playing Agent Album, and he used to just feel like the world was slowly closing in on him and people were out to get him, but quite literally people are out to get him ever since the falsification of his psych patient status. So he's he thought he'd be in his element, but he's not having it.
Yeah, the world is
earlier. That brownstone bomber.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. It's a good point, Ashley. Ashley's going to be co-GMing tonight. That'll work, right? That'll work. I'll just give you all my notes for the campaign, so you know everything that happened.
You're just here's who you are today.
Spoilers. You pull the mask off of the King in Yellow, and it's Old Man Withers this whole time. All right, that's a Scooby-Doo joke that I don't think Ashley's gonna get because she's just so darn young. Whatever.
I watched a lot.
Okay. And then finally, we've got Agent Fawn, who slept through the brutal death of her friend and co-agent Agent Chelsea. So tell us about Agent Fawn there, Melissa.
Yeah, she got a 5 WP restful long rest, which was much needed. Everyone thought it was better for her to get some rest, and she did, and woke up to a trauma and is curious to see what type of album fawn discourse will happen this episode.
Yeah.
Lively last time.
Yeah, it was something. That's for sure. So, you guys ready? You guys ready to dive in? It looks like Derek had to step away, or he's melted, which is possible. Who knows? But I got to do the summary anyway, so let's dive in. We do have a reroll, thanks to Kaylee. So at any point, remember that we can use those for skill rerolls, attribute rerolls, damage rerolls, stuff like that, but not for San or luck. So we just let that stuff ride and see what happens. All right, so let's talk about where we're at. So this whole group, D cells, we've jokingly been referring to them as, got together in 95, investigated Abigail Wright, a young artist in New York who went missing. Upon investigating her, discovered these things called the night floors, this endless sort of McAllister building that was only supposed to be like 3 stories high, and it kept going. Little elements of some kind of play called The King in Yellow, where the Red Book, Le Roi en Jaune, and some other kind of strange books here and there. Then they blew up the building, separated. 20 years later, got brought back together, and they got sent to Boston, or brought to Boston by Agent Exeter, supposedly their handler, but has now been revealed as not necessarily so. And you guys started investigating the disappearance of some psychiatric patients that apparently are Delta Green agents. In the process of doing so, you found more of this King in Yellow stuff. You found more of this yellow sign stuff. You've heard whispers of some place called Carcosa. You've heard of a hotel, Broadlebin, that people keep referring to. You also got trapped within the Dorchester facility yourselves and had to go through unnatural steps just to get released. And upon doing so, all of you started to see weird things from time to time. People in gas masks on the street. I think Vessel's been seeing periodically like little people in puppets and stuff like that, where there should be normal people. Album's seen folks that have been climbing into cabinets and things and just sort of disappearing. Album's also been seeing weird images of graffiti that kind of give him messages of some kind. And eventually you all returned to room 616 of the Boxer Hotel. Because that's what some of these messages had been kind of hinting towards Album. So it kind of brought you back there. When you found the hotel, which last time you were here was a very haunted, strange place, gave you access to some interesting info. But this time around, it was filled with boxes. And inside these boxes were all of the items that were found in Abigail Wright's apartment in 1995, except they were in proper condition. They weren't in like condition as if they've been soaked and glued. It's like they were getting ready to be adhered, almost in this paradoxical time sense, to the apartment of Abigail Wright. You also found this weird device that seemed to go over like the history of you all together as agents, and also it made it seem like this figure, the king, was moving around, forming the world around him. Also showed like these little folios and like weird clockwork behaviors of gas mask people and stuff like that. Fawn fell asleep in the room, and upon doing so, once Vessel and Album arrived, Vessel noticed that underneath a curtain on a wall where there had not been a window before, there suddenly was a window, and but it was like underwater. It was like an underwater view of some kind of hotel room. Vessel, Album investigated. They climbed through the window, started swimming around. They saw a sign suggesting this might be a hotel room of the Hotel Broadlebin. They found a typewriter that's ages old, decades old. They found a manuscript that seemed to basically record almost all of your conversations for who knows how long, like word for word, in the most kind of peculiar way. You got a suitcase as well. But in the process of this happening, you nearly drowned. And in the race to try to help the two of you out of this window, Chelsea ran into the bathroom where things have not gone well before. And while in there, an image manifested right next to her, blocking her way out, and stabbed her, leaving her bleeding to death on the tile floor of the bathroom. Eventually, Vessel and Album found their way outside of the window, back into the Boxer Hotel. Fawn woke up. You all saw the body of Chelsea. There was a huge disagreement over what to do. Album posed the idea of using something in the Ars Goetia or in the Hydromantea, these demonology books that you have. Maybe there's a way to bring her back. And you did indeed find a lead, as there is a demon by the name of Buer that seems to be able to heal any wound, no matter how grave. But the idea of summoning a demon didn't sit well with Fawn, and then Album and Fawn had it out. So, at the very end of the episode, Fawn, you shot a text, I believe, over to your niece, who is a student athlete at the University of Maryland, lacrosse player. And you immediately got a message back with a video link. You and Album both watched that video. And in the process of doing so, you saw like a hidden camera that was tracking your niece's, while she was like doing homework or something in her dorm room. She got up and left. And then over the course of like about 8 minutes, these figures showed up on the video, moving all of the furniture out of the way. And then this figure started stepping through it that looked like this large robed and masked figure, similar to the one that both Vessel and Album briefly saw appear in the Hotel Broadalbin underwater room when they tried to call for help, but unfortunately had ripped the telephone out of the wall, not allowing the other end to be answered. So we're going to pick up. It's Wednesday night, we're going to say. You all have been doing your reading into the the demonology books. And we are in the Boxer Hotel. I'm going to assume that you guys you left and come back because you had to go get the books probably from the Airbnb, and you got some food and stuff like that. You've got I think you said you had Chinese food again. So we are in the Boxer Hotel. It is 7, 8 o'clock at night on Wednesday. What are the three of you doing?
So we had just seen that video.
Indeed.
With my niece. And so like Fawn's initial reaction is gonna just turn to Album and be like, can you, I don't know, this is your thing, this isn't my thing, but like metadata something video, like, can you figure something out with this? Like, you're watching my freaking niece here in college.
Yeah, Album will kind of look down and then say, okay, if you can take over the supplies for this ritual or the seals or whatever it is we need to do, I can look over what I can and see if this is just like some kind of account that she's got for side money or if this is intrusive.
Fawn's going to be offended at that suggestion. And then
college
Fawn
kids, it's hard to pay for things.
Not. So wait a minute. So we both actually saw this. Like, I saw the video and you saw the same thing in the video. Because every time you try to show me some receipt or picture somewhere, like I don't see what you see. But I saw this and you saw this.
Could be our insanity is synchronizing. I'm not sure. I'm not as expert in this.
It's either a good thing that it's actually happening or a bad thing that it's actually happening. So anyway, that stuff. What can you find?
Yes. Leader of the realm, what would I do to check the video for metadata and or things?
Okay.
This is calling out to the sky.
So, first, you start playing the video again, and it doesn't play. The video is not playing whatsoever.
Is it like a blank screen with just the timer ticking, or is it not even like moving?
You're getting like false header stuff inside of the player screen. Timer ticker isn't moving. Roll a computer science.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, just missed.
We do have
67.
rerolls.
We do have a reroll.
Yeah, and we
It's
have
up to you if you want to
leftover.
use it.
I'll save it.
Okay.
We have leftover from last time as well, so we've got 5 total rerolls.
All you can tell from this is that it seems to come from, you kind of go through and you look at like her contacts, like it's one of her specific contacts. But then when you look at the number, like when you actually look at the phone number specifically, it doesn't even look like a proper phone number. It doesn't even look like a viable phone number that could potentially, whether it was in the US or anywhere else, it doesn't look like a proper phone number. And somehow it messaged her nonetheless. The file didn't like save. It's not anywhere on the phone. It's not, and then like it's not wherever it was like linking to. You can't seem to connect, and it just seems like whatever you're trying to access now, it's just corrupted.
Okay. Album will say, I mean, I'm not a full-fledged computer scientist, but what I know about video files is either you have to download the source media and hold it on your personal device, or you stream it from another device. There's nothing here for me to look through, and if something was being streamed, there's no trace or route back to it. So, seems like we are both just syncing up in our insanity, and there was never actually anything here.
Vessel, did you at least hear the video when we were playing it?
You asked that as I walked back in with my Salisbury steak I rolled earlier. Video what? No.
That's right. That's right. You went. That's right. You went.
It's a fair question for Vessel. He's got like 90 alertness, so he probably could have heard it from the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah.
Just went down to the kitchen.
He went down to the kitchen, ordered Salisbury steak. Didn't know how. Had to be taught by the guy.
Do you know how room service
do you know
works?
how room service works? You call
I
down and we
forgot
bring it
that.
up. You don't come to us. Okay.
I was still too traumatized by Chelsea dying. I didn't remember the detail of the
That's
Salisbury
fair
steak
enough,
yeah.
ordering.
Okay.
So Fawn wants to
Yeah.
try texting Sydney again.
Okay. What do you say
So-
in the text?
It was the same message that I tried to send last time, sort of the vague, I love you, hope you're keeping yourself safe, look out for your sister. So since it didn't
Okay.
appear to go through, I'm gonna try again.
Okay. So you just send the text.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, you send the text. You don't get like an immediate response again. But your phone starts ringing like about a minute and a half later, and you look down and it's your niece.
I am putting it on speakerphone and answering
Okay.
it.
All right. You answer it, and you hear your niece. And what does she call you? What does she normally like? Is it like Aunt Lana? Is that what it is, or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you hear her voice, and you hear like, "Hey, Aunt Lana, how's it going? What's happening? I saw your text. It's good on you to text, but you realize that like while she's talking, like you can tell that she's somewhere. Like you can hear like background sounds, and it sounds like it's almost like there's a bunch of people around. I haven't talked to her in a while. I don't know. We keep missing each other. I think she's dating some new guy. I don't know. You know how she is, just hopping, from one relationship to the other. Has trouble kind of being by herself, and like the whole time you're talking, you're just hearing the sounds of these people in the back growing louder and louder. It's like some kind of party that's constantly growing in volume.
And I'll just say, Sydney, are you out with friends?
and you can hear her talking. You can hear her voice, but it's becoming harder and harder for her to her voice to cut through the sounds of the partygoers, of the revelers and things like that. But you couldn't quite hear what she was saying. But every now and then you get a word going okay, and then the party sounds kind of take over. She doesn't seem to be speaking any louder. It's just sort of the same volume. She's almost she doesn't even seem to notice.
I will, kind of yell into the phone, having a hard time hearing you. I just wanted to say I love you, and I'll end the call. And then text her and just say, sounded like you were out with friends or at a party.
Okay.
Question mark.
So these things one at a time.
Sure.
So you shout out I love you, da, 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 and as you do, you hear in the background of the call, as she's just kind of rambling on, you hear the sudden voices of the partygoers, this dissonance that's happening in the background. You suddenly hear it kind of sort of swell, and then you hear somebody yell in the back, "Unmask! Unmask!" Really, really loud. And then there's this sudden cry, and then everything goes silent for a second, and then you hang up the phone.
Okay. If that's what I hear, I'll try calling back.
Okay. You call back, and the phone just rings and rings and rings. Go ahead and roll Sam.
Yeah.
All of you, the two of you, by the way, heard all of this happening.
Yep. That's a fail.
But since we're not related, we don't have to roll sand.
I think the two of you are okay in
Since you're a
regard.
cold-hearted human being.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's
Not
very
mine
fair.
is.
I don't really care about. I don't even like lacrosse. Are you adapted to helplessness?
I am. Yes.
Okay, so you're fine then. You're actually fine.
I'm not, but yes.
No. Yeah. It's 0-1 from helplessness. So.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it just rings. No voicemail, nothing. Doesn't pick up. Just rings and rings and rings.
Damn it. I'll text her. Call me in the morning. When it's not so loud out, make sure to call me in the morning. Stay safe.
Okay.
Love you.
Okay. You text her. Everything you just said, no response.
This is a losing battle, guys. This is just
Yes.
that's all you have to. That's all. That's the extent of your wisdom.
Unfortunately, I mean, here we are, all this time, all this effort we've put in. Isn't there a popular song from some band in the 90s? Talks about going so far, but it doesn't matter. Feels like that. I'm not a music guy.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. I got it.
All right. So what are you guys doing then at this point? Got your Chinese food. You got your Salisbury steak. You've got the covered body of Chelsea in the bathroom. What are you guys doing?
It seems like right now, I mean, Album would still be working on the reconstitution of Chelsea. So if we're all in here, seems like that might be what's just going down, unless there's other items to explore.
Okay. So if you're kind of pushing your way through these books and you're trying to kind of get a feel for things you would need, so you realize there is a ritual that seems to have gotten some attention within some of the books that you've been able to go through. You even see some notes from Chelsea here and there called the Preliminary Invocation to Priumaton. And it's, do you know, I guess you could probably Google this. It is, it's Greek for thou who art the first and last. And this is a fairly complex ritual. It takes hours and it involves somewhat elaborate ceremonial preparations. There's like a magic sword. There's various vessels for divination and conjuration, like wax figures and things like that. Scrolls written in blood. There's all like this sort of complex sort of setup. You're not sure if it's just theatrical or if it actually matters. A ring, ceremonial staff of some kind, special clothing, and like, you know, flowers, garland, fairly careful timing according to the rules of astrology. And you know that you would have to basically create this sort of this triangle, called a Solomonic triangle. You'd have to stand inside of a protective circle in this like fairly isolated area, and you have to recite an incantation followed by announcing the 72 names of the demons and inscribing the seal of the particular demon that you wish to contact. So this would take some time, and then you have to, so it's going to take some time. You'd probably have to get some of those items, which is not necessarily some of them are easier than others to acquire. Figure out where you want to hold this this ritual, and then it's actually doing it.
We were talking about just holding the ritual in this room. So we can go through all these things in the room, like Abigail's miscellaneous items. Maybe these can be used.
Okay.
As part of the ritual.
Okay. So you do have a robe. I'm going to assume you went, like you said, you had to, like I said, you had to go get the books. I started thinking about that in between sessions. It's like pretty sure you weren't carrying around this giant, ancient, like 15th century tome with you. So it's likely something that was at the Airbnb, went and grabbed it, came back. But you likely, but also part of that, when you acquired that, there was a robe. So you have that robe. I'll tell you what, roll a search test, their vessel, and then roll a luck as well.
I failed both of them.
We do have
Failed them
rituals
both.
for the search, if you want.
Nah.
Okay. You, you found a ring. It ain't particularly fancy. There's a golf club. Maybe that could be used as a ceremonial staff. You're not entirely sure. You find what looks like old action figures and Barbies and things like that. So maybe those could be vessels for
Wax
divination and
figures.
conjuration. Who knows? You don't find any magic sword, and you don't have any scrolls written in blood or anything like that. But we'll say if you wanted to use a golf club as a ceremonial staff, one of these cheapy like gumball machine plastic rings, Barbies and G.I. Joe and He-Man and Ninja Turtle stuff, you have a few items that you could potentially use.
This is the best we've got.
I mean, surely we can find something. We don't. If this stuff's an exact list, are we sure you want to risk it? You're the expert here. I'm just saying that if it's requesting these specific things and we don't have them, how do we know that the process is going to go as it needs to?
I'm not the expert. I've never freaking done this before, but it seems like we're on a bit of a time crunch because, she's dead. And
Yes.
we could spend a month trying to find all this stuff, and she'll be more dead. But since you thought it was such a brilliant idea to call a demon to bring her, the sooner the better.
Just figured this room would give us something that we need, or maybe that window would appear again and have what we need.
If you want the window to appear again, I need to go take a nap.
That's true. It's worth a shot, but I don't think we have any control over it. Has there been anything that we've seen in the past where we could just, besides the phone, the satellite phone, that gave us what we needed?
They just gave you stuff? I'm
Oh,
pretty
I was
sure
asking this to the
satellite-
group.
Oh, okay,
this is
sorry.
Album just talking out loud.
My bad.
No, you're good.
I mean, Vessel, you've swam through a window thing twice now. Have you seen any of this stuff on this list anywhere?
No, it's just all really been water and not much else.
Okay, so before you all scramble too much for this, there's plenty of like occult stores and shops you can go through. It's 2015. You can go to Wiccan shops, apothecaries. These things exist, and you could buy some of this stuff. Like it sounds like really difficult to acquire, but it's not as difficult as you're probably going to think it is.
And
But
I literally didn't know those existed. All right.
yes, there's spiritual shops all over. There's new age crystal shops and things. Yeah, they're all over the place.
When you started saying spirit, I thought you were gonna say there's Spirit Halloween, and I was like, yeah, you got me. It's
Yeah.
warehouse.
So yeah, you could potentially do that. You take a look at you do a little quick Google search of the Boston area. There's a place called the Seven Stars. There's the Coven's Cottage. There's let's see. There's Psychic Parlor and Witchcraft Emporium. Crowhaven Corner Witch and Psychic Shop. That's why I like
the
Delta
first
Green. I can literally just look this shit up right in Google and just say it out loud.
I like the first one. The sound of the first one sounds good to me.
I'll give them a call then, see if I can procure these items for pickup.
Okay.
I'm curious, do you like read the list? Like, the list of things I'm looking for. How many of these could you fulfill?
It is fairly late. So roll a luck test to see if anyone's still at the shop at this point. Maybe someone's like, critical success.
Ooh.
Not only are they still at the shop, but they're still open. So it's like, we'll say it's 9:30. We'll say they're closing at 10. They're up, but you get a woman, and it's like, hi, this is Lucy. You've gotten 7 stars. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking to perform a ritual. Can you help me with these items? This like magic sword.
You're trying to perform a
scrolls.
ritual? Is there a particular ritual you're trying to perform?
I'll look to the others. What kind of ritual is this?
Do we really want to be telling some random mass person what we're trying to do?
They're the most knowledgeable. Maybe they can give us advice.
It's private. It's personal. It's private. But
Yeah,
we'll
if we
pay
just
well.
give them if we give them the exact list, should be enough for them.
Unfortunately, I don't know much about this. I just need the items. Can you get them?
Well, so you give her the list. Sure, we definitely have some of that for sure. We do close in about 25 minutes, so
How far are we?
so you guys, judging where you're at, it's in the Cambridge area of Boston, which looks to be just outside of, you guys are unlikely to be able to get there in time.
You do special treatment, pay extra.
Special treatment, pay extra. I'll tell you what, roll a persuasion test, and I'm going to give you plus 20 because you did get a critical success on your luck. So go ahead and take a plus 20 on this.
Yeah, this is this.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. That's fine. This isn't, like, that inexpensive, just so you know. Like, we do sell quality merchandise. We're not, like, a Spencer's Gifts or anything like that. This is quality stuff. So, but if you want to tap on maybe a 25% tip for old Lucy, then sure, I can leave the light on for you.
Yeah, we'll pay whatever.
Okay. Well, if you're on your way, I'm gonna put the closed sign up, but I'll leave the light on. So you have my number, so you can just call the shop when you're outside, and we'll make the transfer. Are you
Sounds
paying in cash or credit? I can actually take care of your. If you're gonna do credit, I can just ring you up right now if you want to make things go faster for us both.
Oh. See if I can. Oh, I was gonna say, can I get those gift cards running, if possible?
Oh yeah, that's right. We've got those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys used those already.
Didn't you use them to get the Airbnb?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay, so
After
then
Lisa
what we'll do, roll a. This is gonna end up being like a couple $100. Is what you're probably looking to pay for all of this material. You want to spend your own money?
That's what we got.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an in times 5 or an accounting to see if you have enough free cash on you to pay for this. Okay.
Success.
Yeah, you do have enough cash because there is like this little mechanic for that kind of stuff where like if you pay for certain things with cash, you can actually hurt your bonds and stuff for it. We don't really do it too often, but I just wanted to try it out. But yeah, you got enough of your own cash. No problem. All right, and so okay, cash is fine. I will see you in a half an hour. Thanks for calling 7 stars.
Bye.
Bye. And the phone clicks.
It's underway. I've got a person at the 7 stars.
Okay. I guess we go and get the stuff.
Okay, who's going?
So all of our images have been on the TV. There's
but
none of
we
us that are not pictured.
Our old images. We did get haircuts and hair dyed and stuff like that for what it's worth. But yeah, technically we are being hunted.
I would say you're probably still the most recognizable, so do you want to stay here, Album, and I'll drive and he can buy that? Or should we all
Album casually wipes away a tear. Yes, I know I'm pale. Yeah, I'll stay here.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
Fire up real quick.
So Album's staying back. Vessel and Vaughn, you're leaving. Vessel and Vaughn, you head out. What are you doing about the 2 agents of some organization that have been casing the hotel, the Boxer Hotel, for over 24 hours now, that you've seen multiple times, but have managed to actually elude because I have rolled some really bad alertness tests.
The fact that they got into an argument was pretty hilarious.
99, critical 99.
Yeah.
That's great.
We'll just keep trying to dodge their gaze and go out another way.
So before we leave, I'll just ask the question, like, if we know that they continue to be out there, do we want to just all leave once and for all and go back to the Airbnb?
I assume once we get Chelsea back, that was the plan, but like I figured this room doesn't seem to let sound carry or smells or like anything, so it's like the best place to summon a demon and potentially have stuff exploding or cackling laughter, or souls being yanked out of my soul or something.
All right, so we'll leave, come back, and then leave. So we'll have 3 more stealth tests to try to get past these people.
This will be where the rerolls help.
Okay, Vessel and Fawn, roll stealth.
Critical success.
Very nice.
61.
Okay. Do you want to go through, and this is not going to have any effect on like the success or fail of the roll. I'm just kind of curious, are you trying to go out like a side door? Are you trying to go out through the lobby?
Oh, definitely side door.
A spooky assist? Yeah. Yes. I have an idea that would fit. If you have an idea for one, though, actually, you can go ahead and throw it in the chat. But I do have something that could potentially work. So, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer to my question. Lobby or side door?
Fawn will recommend side door.
Okay. All right.
Wait, have we taken the side door in, or have we like gone
Yes.
through the lobby every time? Okay.
I think you're the
We've
only one
always
who
done
like
side,
poked
I
into the
thought.
lobby and then you went over to the kitchen. Through the lobby, so out the side door.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got the side door. You sneak around. You try to dodge other people in the hallway. Time it right. You're trying to make it not look too obvious. It's, like I said, it's about 9:30 or so when you're leaving. There are some people lingering about. It's the middle of the week. Leave by the side door. Parking lot's fairly full. You sneak around to one of your cars. Do you have a car? Or are you just gonna take? Are you gonna take Album's truck? I think Album has a truck, and then
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Vaughn-
think.
Yeah. So would you give him the keys?
Yeah, Album would hand them to whomever's close by, and
Okay.
then just say, if those goons are still hanging out, like, don't let them see this. Like, this is the only vehicle I've gotten very quietly.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you go ahead and you sneak out. You see them. They're still there. You see like there's still people kind of watching. Looks like they've switched out who's there. You can see that there's kind of a young-looking guy that's behind the wheel. You see there's an older woman, probably in her 50s or so, kind of sitting next to him in the driver's side. Neither of them are talking. They're sipping on little, on like what looks like coffee, and then but they're looking. They're constantly just kind of looking about here and there. But you get into your car, you get into the truck, and you, as best you can, you exit the area, hoping to not be seen. Now, with your alertness vessel, you know that they don't seem to move out of their parking space as the two of you leave. So as far as you know, at the very least, unless they've signaled somebody else, this car hasn't picked up on you and is not following you.
That's reassuring.
Okay.
Yeah, my alertness is shit, so I would not have known if they were right up behind us. All right.
So, yeah, you travel. It's going to take about a half an hour to get there, and so you just get in the car and you drive. Album, what do you want to do? Thank you, Exile. I will do something incredibly spooky at some points, hopefully this evening. I'll make sure it happens this evening, and not necessarily something that's going to result in me stabbing someone in the face again. Not that I was upset about that. Do you want to do anything in this time, Album?
Yeah, Album wants to. Where's Chelsea's body again?
In the bathroom.
Oh, we left it there. Okay.
I assume you
I'm
put
assuming-
it. I assume you left it in the bathroom and put like a cover over it or something.
Well, so what he's gonna do is, I'm assuming it's like the door opens inward into the room, and then like it's either on the left or on the right is the like doorway to the bathroom type thing, and then
Yeah,
there's
correct.
a wall. Okay, he'll sit on the wall looking into the bathroom, and he'll take the cover off of her face just to make sure he can keep an eye on the body so it doesn't like go anywhere or do anything. And then Album not being able to not work on stuff is like, we got to get this other shit going, and he's gonna try and like use his computer skills to doctor up a tryst, since he can't really make any progress with the
Gotcha.
with a Navy dude.
Okay.
He's gonna grumble to himself like, fucking amateurs can't even handle this task, and I'm type angrily.
So you're gonna work on the tryst that that Wild from inside gave you.
Yeah.
So you go into the bathroom and you peel back the cover, the shower curtain that you had draped over top of Chelsea's body. And as you peel it back, you see like the hair kind of splayed out, or have dark hair, maybe some streaks of gray here and there. She's in her mid-50s. And as you peel it back, you realize the figure you see laying in the curtain, underneath the curtain, is not Chelsea. You see what looks like this painted wooden face with these glued on eyes. The hair itself seems to be stitched into these tiny holes on the top of the head, and it's like yarn or string. You see what looks most certainly like the exact same clothes you last saw Chelsea wearing when you saw her earlier in the day, you see a huge wound right in the side of her face. And from it, you see spilling out this beautiful silk scarf, red and kind of reflecting a bit of the light from the bathroom. And you can see that from the side, on her side, over above her hip, you can see the same thing. There's a cut, and you can see as you're peeling it back even further, that red silk scarf continues to sort of just fumble out and kind of pool underneath the curtain, the shower curtain. You see what looks like little puppet strings that don't seem to connect to anything at all, just kind of are there limply off to the side. The controlling device is there. I need you to roll a sand test.
Gotcha. I sanitied.
Okay. 1 point of sand from the unnatural.
Sure.
For a success. As you're standing there, what's going through your head, Album?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So Album, is like trying to be somewhat respectful because he does have his moments. So he's like peeling the curtain back slowly and just somber about it. And then he notices this, which then causes him to tear it off unceremoniously and, abruptly to see it is in fact a full-fledged puppet. And so the hair is standing up on the back of his neck. And he's trying not to tremble, but how when you're cold, you can just feel the inside of your body vibrating, when you don't put on the warm enough sweater. He's got that going on. And he kind of just puts his hands through his hair. And he'll just start just laugh.
And that's when you hear this shatteringly loud noise of a gong echoing throughout the room. Not just the bathroom, the hotel room. Incredibly loud. It just kind of almost shocks you out of your laughter. A beat goes by, and you start hearing the sounds of distant drums. And then you hear this flute, this almost marching processional type sound, kind of in another room. Not necessarily here within the bathroom, maybe out in the main room, but you hear it slowly growing in volume. What do you do?
Album will take out the knife from his pocket. Wait. Actually, no, he'll take the knife out from his pocket. And since he left the door open, he'll just peer into the main room of the hotel.
So you look back into the main room. Everything is as you left it. You hear the sounds like this growing procession getting louder. It's still muted, it's distant, and you see no sign of where it could possibly be coming from, but coupled with that coldness that washed over you, you're feeling now this ever-present sense of dread that it just, with each thump of the drum, just grows bigger and more pronounced, and bigger and more pronounced.
Album will open up the door into the hallway and step out of the room, and make sure and he'll wedge his knife in the door so it can't swing shut. So
the bathroom, you're trying to keep the bathroom from closing?
Out. No. He's gonna go out of the 616 entirely. He's gonna step out.
You step out?
Because he's freaking out, kind of.
You step out into the hallway, and the sound immediately goes away.
And he'll just sit there with the door jammed open, just catching his breath, and just trying to be casual because he's breathing heavily, but trying to just lean against the wall or the banister or whatever. And just look left and right to see if there's anybody else out while he massages his temple.
What's your alertness?
71.
You don't notice anyone in the hallway. You do notice as you're kind of stepping out into the hallway, as the sound fades, as the feeling of dread slowly begins to recede, you look back into the hallway and you can see the curtain that was on the far western wall kind of flutters a bit, but
where the window was.
Mm-hmm. But then everything kind of settles.
Album's going to call Fawn from his cell phone.
Okay.
Because how long has it been since they've left?
I'm gonna say maybe they've been gone for maybe 15 minutes, or probably halfway there. We'll say between
Okay.
like maybe you kind of putzing around doing this and that. But you get your phone out. You open it up, dial in her number, and as you go to dial in, you hear a voice on the line before you can even dial her number. You just hear this loud male voice, or this like frantic male voice, just like whisper, "He's in the other room."
An Album will whisper back, "Who is?" Or murmur back quietly.
You just hear like breathing for a bit.
It's okay. Who's in the other room?
It's Colwell.
I didn't catch that. What?
It's Colwell. He's in the other room.
And what is he doing?
He's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
What does he plan to do with you?
There's like this long pause. And like you just hear like this breath. Okay. He's gonna kill me.
Where are you? I can try and help. Just tell me where you are.
They're gonna kill us all. They're gonna
Strength in numbers. Tell me where you are and I can help you.
It's spread too far. It's spread too far.
I have methods. I could walk through a window for all I care.
No. And like you're not even sure if he's actually responding to you. Like he's just sort of talking, and you're not 100% sure that what he's saying is like in response to your words, or if it's just like you're making those connections. It's not entirely clear.
Yeah.
You and then at a certain point of like him babbling, he's like, I knew there was something. I knew there was something about that play. I knew there was something. I didn't want this fucking operation. I didn't fucking want it. I didn't fucking want it. I didn't fucking want it. What kind of fucking name? You know, it's just they're gonna. Too much exposure. Just too much exposure. It's just the influence. They just don't want it to spread. They don't want it to spread. They don't give a fuck who it's spread to. They sent us fucking here to deal with it. And then fucking hail that. And now they're coming for all of us. They're coming from us all. Their stupid fucking static protocol. Fuck their goddamn static protocol. And then you hear this the sounds of almost sounds like a shotgun blast or something bursting on the line, and static just overtakes the phone.
Album will take his phone, put his phone down. Does static, you said static protocol, right?
Yeah.
Does that ring any bells for Album in any of the literature he's read or any documents he studied?
No. You set the phone down, like on the ground, and as you do, you hear him scream again, the same voice. I'm locked in the bathroom. I don't think. And then you hear the sound of like a door rattling, and then this just intensely creepy, inhuman laughter just kind of overtakes the sounds on the phone, and you hear like the same voice that's been talking to you, this Colwell guy, just tell them the team failed. Tell them we failed. We can't. And then you hear like the sound of like just horrible gurgling scream, and then dial tone. but you have a cell phone, yet dial tone. Go ahead and roll Sam.
I should say so.
Fail 64.
D4 from the unnatural.
Okay. 2.
Okay.
Two
That
or
would
more?
trigger a thing unless you want to push it off onto a trigger one of your disorders unless you want to push it off onto a bond.
Yeah. I'll let it trigger one of my disorders. Do I get to pick?
As long as it makes
Or-
sense, I don't care. Yeah, I'm pretty.
Okay. Yeah. So then Album's dissociative identity disorder would trigger.
Okay.
And he's just gonna light up a cigarette and just start smoking. He's gonna take him out of his pocket.
Okay. The car pulls in to a strip mall, and you see that there's there's plenty of other cars here. It looks like there's like a restaurant, some other places in here too, so it's not like it's a completely dead area. There's some people hanging out in the middle of the parking lot as well, moving out here and there. It looks like some drunken revelers, middle of the week warriors, as Vessel and Fawn. You park somewhere here. Fawn, roll a luck test.
Okay, that's a success. 28 under 50.
Okay. All right. But yeah, you see 7 stars. You see the lights are still on. You see it still, but it has like those gates covering the entranceway. You see the lights are still on inside.
Gotta give Lucy a call.
Okay. Call Lucy. Hello, this is Lucy at 7 stars.
Hey, it's
closed
us. We're
right now.
outside.
Oh, hi. Okay, sure. Can you just come up to the door?
We'll make our way there.
All right. Thank you. So, you guys get out. You start moving across the parking lot. Do you park like right in front of the store? Do you park like away from the store? Do you try to find like a...
I would
is
try
there-
to find, because it's nighttime, so I try to find a parking space that isn't like directly under,
Okay.
like a light in the parking lot. like a
Sure.
shadow area.
Yeah, you find like a darkened area of the parking lot and start walking up. Sure. So it's a couple rows back. You start moving your way through. You hear the sounds of a bar that seems to be some kind of like Irish pub that's in the same strip mall. And you hear the sound of like drunken revelers, and apparently there's a
I'll stay in
fight
the van.
breaking out. Yeah. And so Vessel, you step out and you're walking through the parking lot. And as you're walking past, you notice that this group of loiterers around what looks like some kind of old model BMW, like from the 80s. They're drinking. They've got these, they're probably not supposed to be out there, and like one of the bouncers is yelling at them to get the hell out of here, that kind of thing. But you suddenly see like moving across the sort of the walkway underneath the overhang where all of the shops of the strip mall are. You see a group of men that seem to be wearing gas masks, these heavy jackets, and they are walking across the front of this Irish pub. They previously had passed by what looks like some smoke shop, and they are openly carrying shotguns right there. But as you watch them, Vessel, none of the people that are standing in the parking lot, none of the people that are standing outside of the bar seem to be reacting to them. And you see them make a slight turn as they walk past some of these drunken folks outside the pub, and they look like they're heading right towards you. Roll a human.
I got a success.
You see them they're walking towards you, but you're not 100% that they actually even see you. They're just kind of like, they're coming right at you, but you're not sure if they're coming like at you. They could be coming just in your direction. What do you want
I'll
to do?
offset myself a little bit and see if they're headed somewhere.
Okay, kind of step off to the side. Maybe you find a car to kind of brace yourself against. and they pass by like really, really close to you. Like they like between this, they almost like single file between these two cars. You kind of press yourself up against one, and they walk right past, and you hear them muffling some words to each other, like it's underneath these gas masks, hard to hear. But you hear some names. One of them your own, but you also hear like Chelsea, like they're kind of communicating, but those names just kind of ring through whatever their conversation is having. Like the muffling suddenly becomes ultimately clear. Fawn, Album, Vessel, as if they're communicating with one another. And you can see them just kind of continue to walk past you deeper into the parking lot.
I'll hurry along then before I linger
Okay.
too.
Okay. You hurry up to the store, you peek back, and you can see that they just walk clear across the parking lot, weaving in and out of cars, and then they curve around the far end of the strip mall and out of view. Roll sand.
That's not good.
Oh my gosh.
I failed.
Okay. 1 point. Or I'm sorry, 1d4. Oh no, I'm sorry. Just one. My bad. I misread.
Oh,
Just
okay.
one. Sorry about that.
Vessel,
Okay.
are we tied now? Insanity of 12?
We are 12.
Oh.
You guys better do something about that. Okay. So you go up to the front door and you kind of knock on it, and you see this young woman, probably in her late 20s, and she waves at you. And you can see that she's like packing some things up in the bag. Over by the truck, Fawn, you watch as there's people, like I said, in the parking lot, and as you're watching by, like out of the corner of your eye, you never see these figures that I just described, the vessel. You watch him briefly, and he just kind of stops, pauses, and then you kind of look down at your phone as like you saw like this brief flicker of like a missed call from Album, but then there's no voicemail or anything like that, and you're probably checking your phone for messages from your niece, and you look back up and he's at the storefront. But you also notice that there is this woman that seems to be moving about the parking lot and is like putting flyers underneath people's like windshield wipers on top of their cars. What's your alertness?
It's pretty bad. It's 38.
Oh, that's good enough.
Oh, okay.
You watch as she passes by your car. She slides a paper underneath your windshield. Doesn't look at you. Kind of cloaked, like you're in a dark. You specifically said you're in a darkened section, so you don't really see her. And then she starts moving away. And as you're kind of watching, you notice that the paper that's underneath the windshield in front of you has got this, like, the faintest glow to it.
So I want to wait until she has moved on to another area of the parking lot and is kind of face the other way.
Okay.
Album, you can correct me, but I'm imagining this is like old, like wind down windows on this van. Like, is it that old of a van?
No, his pickup truck would at least have like
It's a
power
truck.
windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing much more beyond that.
Damn,
From
I was
the,
hoping
like-
for the old
yeah.
school crank that I don't have to turn the vehicle on and I could just roll the window down and pull it out.
But you could turn the vehicle on without turning the engine on and still power the windows.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just
Yeah.
put it in auxiliary, roll the window down, reach my hand out, and pull the flyer back.
Okay. You grab the flyer and you take a look at it. And once you grab it, like that glow just kind of seems to fade. And maybe it was just a trick of your eyes or something like that. Who knows? But you take a look at it, and it's a playbill, like a little advert playbill
Mm-hmm.
for a play called Her Gray Song.
Okay.
And it's in great condition. and it's like announcing special showing, grand opening event flyer, or like the opening of the play. Excuse me.
Mhm.
But the date for it is the 30th of August, 1955.
Are there any other vehicles in this darkened area of
Yeah.
the parking lot?
Yeah.
I would like to make sure that no one is watching and look at a flyer on a different vehicle and assess if it's the same.
Okay. You look around with your 38% alertness. You don't see anyone staring you down or anything. So you step, 2 spots over, grab a different flyer off of the car that's in that space. You take a look at it, and it appears to be a grand opening event flyer for a sandwich shop in this very strip mall. And you look over onto the east side of that strip mall, and there's like these little grand opening flyers, but it's a 50% off coupon for your first sandwich if you do like a little meal with like a soda and some chips and stuff.
Sure.
So things are looking up.
Yeah.
Back in the hotel, Album, what are you doing?
So I guess this is kind of dependent on how you rule things, but with Album kind of shifting personalities, so to speak, does he still have the same conceptualization of like supernatural and all the stuff that's been going on, or no?
I mean, I think it's for you to decide for your character. I mean, I think you got disassociation, right?
Yeah, dissociative DID.
Is it full DID or is it just disassociation?
No, it's
There's full DID.
yeah, dissociative identity disorder.
Okay.
Which all of the handbook says is most of the time your agent seems fine. Suffering temporary insanity will trigger an acute episode in which your agent takes on an alternate identity with its own personality and memories. Oh, so yeah, I don't know how that would work its way into this story.
Do you want to just trigger a different one then? I mean, you have other
No.
disorders.
Yeah. I'm definitely cool with it. I just wasn't sure how much he would know.
Well, I think what might make sense is that you're, as a Delta Green agent, secret agent all these years, you have multiple identities. And it might make sense that you maybe attribute a full personality to one of them. And so instead of it being Agent Album, it's a completely different cover that you had with a different personality at some point that kind of manifested over time.
Yeah.
And so that'll still allow you to functionally like mess around with the events and things like that. But
okay, so then being Marvin Hurwitz, which is what I used a lot in chapter 2.
I remember that.
Album's gonna, with his cigarette, walk outside, just out the front lobby, and just hang out on like a bench near the front door and just like smoke his cigarette and just like play Candy Crush on his phone or something.
Okay.
Kind of waiting for well, actually trying to figure out like, okay, why the hell did I come here again?
Okay. You go outside, get some fresh air, sit down on one of the benches, start playing some Candy Crush.
Oh my gosh. All of the stealth rolls that we've been doing for the last couple of days.
Oh, I'm not happy about it either, but I'm like, okay, like Marvin doesn't know shit about this.
Within moments, your alertness is high. Within moments, you see, as you are suddenly surrounded by about 4 different people, all of whom are actually pointing guns at you. 2 of whom are wearing proper uniforms of the Boston police. One of whom seems to be a woman that Album, I think, might recognize. Definitely Chelsea would have, as Detective Emmeline Skahane. And then another individual who is also in kind of plainclothes cop. And they just start screaming at you to hands up, get on the ground, and going through the whole the whole procedure of placing you under arrest.
Yeah, Marvin's like gonna like take the cigarette out of his mouth, look around, and say like, "Well, I'm confused. Is that you hotel security? What's going on? Why? I'm just smoking here."
Get the fuck on the ground. Put your hands behind your head. Right now. And they're like, the guns are pointing right at you.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I have no choice but to comply. I don't know what the hell's going on here. And he'll follow their instructions.
Okay. And you are read your rights. You are handcuffed. You are put into the back of a vehicle that has Boston State Police on the side. We'll switch over then to the Seven Stars Wiccan shop.
What the hell?
Lucy pulls the gate back, opens the door, and she's like, some interesting things you have here. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to tell you what I think you're doing, but good luck. And she kind of hands it over to you.
I appreciate
Say
it.
anything back?
Yeah. What do you think we're doing?
Well, if, demonology and things. I mean, you can Google this stuff.
Are you an expert?
No, I just sell stuff. I dabble. I don't really like to do the demonology things, but they sell. Mostly it's teenagers, though, thinking, they're dark and cool.
Are there any strange individuals or groups that come by?
Strange individuals and groups? I mean, that's kind of judgy, don't you think? I mean, you're here buying this stuff, and now you're going to call other people who shop here strange?
Well,
Roll a luck test, by the way.
Success.
Okay. Despite the fact that your face has been plastered all over news media for the past 24 to 36 hours, she doesn't show any recognition of who you are.
I only ask because people that come here must share similar interests.
Maybe.
But no, like
it's a bookstore. We sell candles mostly. It's bookstores, candles, crystals. Some people buy the things that you buy, but not really.
Maybe more specifically, people that are like weird masked at all.
No, I mean, if it's Halloween or something, or one of the other like major important holidays that Jeff doesn't actually know the name of, like maybe those. But no, not normally people in masks. No, that would be kind of strange. I don't know if our security cameras would like it. And she points up, and there's like a CCTV camera like right above the door.
Y'all fucked.
Says the guy who walks right at the front of the hotel.
Marvin is just having a smoke break playing Candy Crush. Album is horrified.
If you're really interested, though, if you're looking to like meet people, or if you're new to the area, we do have a bulletin board, where like you can try to find like people that are of like interest, if that's what you're interested in. Like we have group signups and things like that.
Yeah, I'll
do
take a look
hikes
before
and
I head
stuff.
out.
She kind of looks at you, and she looks at the watch, and she looks over at the bulletin boards inside. Okay, just... She thinks about it for a second. Okay, just for a moment. I do want to get out of here.
Yeah,
I
I
have
won't keep you much
plans.
longer, just a few minutes.
Okay. So you go inside. You take a peek at this bulletin board, and there's all sorts of stuff up here. Like, so you can see that there's like little like there's like people looking for roommates, people selling furniture, people looking for like hiking buddies. There's people who are doing like, kind of like group nature calls and things like that. But you do notice something of interest. You do notice what appears to be a flyer that you have seen before. It's a little different though. It mostly looks the same in that it's for the encounter group, and it has the same kind of has the same quotes and everything on it. So let me see if I can find the handout for you. It should be in the second chapter. Yep, there it is. So let me go ahead and pop this up really quick. Show to all. All right, so counter group, no cost. Find the answers to life's questions in a no judgment group environment. And then there's the bottom right hand corner. You see the yellow sign. And you see tireless heroes explore, knowing infinite night grants comfort on moonlit endless seas. But the difference is that instead of it saying 7 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, St. Jude Church, Dorchester, it actually says something else. And it actually lists a different time and a different location. It says specifically Friday, September 11th, Harvard Episcopal Methodist Church, Cambridge, Boston, 7 to 9 p.m.
I'll take the flyer then.
Okay. Just take one. Is that it? Can I get you anything else?
Hopefully that's all.
Okay, well, thank you. Have a good night. Good luck with your summoning.
All right, I'll head up.
Okay, and you leave and you get back into the car. You drive back.
Fawn's gonna show him the first flyer.
Okay.
What do you see?
50% off sandwich. Nice.
It was a play. It was a playbill. When I first looked at it, it was a playbill from 1955.
I'm sure it was fun. No, take a look at this. Then I'll show the encounter group.
So I really like how Long just knew to do that. I just love how Long just knew to do that. I didn't have to tell him. He just knew it. No, it's when you know we've been playing this game a while. Okay.
I look at what he's showing me.
Now this isn't a 50% off flyer, but another encounter group.
Yeah, we already got an encounter group.
Yeah, but just another one.
Like a whole other group?
Could be the same people. Just got the Delta Green here.
Well, we missed the other one because, I wasn't sleeping. So, what is the date, Jeff?
It should be September 11th, Friday. So right now it's the 9th of September, I believe.
Of September.
I'll double check, but basically it's 2 days from today.
Okay.
I'll double check my dates on the calendar, but I think that's should be 2 days from today on Friday. And it's at so basically it's Cambridge. It's basically it's basically west of where. It's actually not that far from where you're currently at.
Okay.
So like because you're in the Cambridge area of Boston, so it's in the area of where you're at. So it's nearby, which makes sense.
All right. Let's get back and do this stupid thing that we're going to do.
Okay. So you start heading back. Sounds good. So on your drive back, we'll switch over to old Album. Album, you got put into the back of this black and white vehicle. The plainclothes detectives, they did not enter the vehicle, just sort of the cops themselves. So you can see they just got the kind of the wire mesh between the front and the back seat. But you drive, and if you were Album at this point, you would recognize the facility you're going to. But you're brought inside. You're stripped of your possessions, secured in handcuffs, so you have nothing on you. Take your phone, take anything out of your pockets, etc. And one sec. Okay. You're walked in past some other folks, and you see some cops kind of look up and just sort of stare at you, kind of incredulously. Is that? You kind of point at him, and you can see some of the officers are kind of give them the thumbs up and that kind of thing. And you can see that you're brought back behind like this swing door kind of going, looks like you're going back to processing. But you start moving, and you like your ID, your wallet, all that kind of stuff taken, bagged up, etc. And you start moving through the police station, and you're crossing into these new, somewhat dimly lit rooms. And as you kind of go through one door and down a hallway, you start to get this sort of cramped, claustrophobic feeling. As the walls are a little narrow, ceiling is a little cramped down. You get this kind of weird feeling that this is either you're growing or this is getting smaller. And you can feel sort of the firm hands of these two cops who aren't saying anything to you, and they keep pushing and pushing. They open a door and they push you through it again and again. Everything just feels smaller and smaller. And then as you start going through these hallways, you look around and you can see there's some rooms and stuff. They're no longer a hallway. You're going into the room. And you go into like, what looks like they're passing you through an evidence room. And you look on the shelves are all these strangely unique, unopened bottles. You feel sand or dirt kind of dribble down from the ceiling, kind of gets in your hair. They push open another door and walk through this cramped, almost underground, like it feels kind of underground. You feel like the weight of something on you. And you go through a conference room, and like sitting off to the side, you can see these like stage prop doors and windows. And you can see like there's this rack of costumes that's just hanging in the corner. You go out another door, and suddenly you're like by these offices for various detectives and lieutenants and captains. You pass by this captain's office where like the vertical blinds have been pulled up so you can see inside clearly, and it's this green room with sofas and snacks. And this whole time you're just kind of being pushed and pushed and pushed. You doing anything?
No. If Marvin has the same like skills as Album, which I'm gonna go with, he's just gonna know like the cops are not your friends, and he's not gonna say a word.
Okay, fair enough. So they just keep moving you faster and faster, to the point where at times like you almost kind of like stumble with how fast they're trying to move you, and eventually you're taken through this huge wooden floored open black space, like this enormous backstage area, and you can see that there's figures standing in the shadows somewhere. What's your alertness at?
71.
Oh god, yeah. You can see that there's people that are lounging around in what look like fairly elaborate, colorful costumes, and they're reading, like they're sitting around, or they're sitting on top of a box, or they're on the ground. They all have what looks like scripts in front of them, pages peeled back, but the lighting is really dim, so it's really just like silhouettes that you're seeing. Some of them look vaguely familiar, like in the back of your mind, like you recognize a few of these people, but you can't put the face to the name or the silhouette to the name. They don't say anything. A couple of them kind of just look up, and you can see contours of what looks like kind of an African American man with sort of a scraggly gray and white beard. Looks like he's got a mask off to the side in this kind of colorful red robe. You see another guy sitting on top of what looks like a turned over garbage can, and he's almost got like a zoot suit on with a little hat. Tie is kind of loose, and he looks like he's got like a little crystal glass of something to the side that he periodically sips from. None of them say anything, but a few of them give you nods and smiles, holds up a glass and cheer to you, and gives you a good luck look. And then you see one of the cops that have just been pushing you so fast, like a whirlwind. A door opens, and the front, like right in front of you, and like this bright supernova like light just washes over to the point where it almost burns your eyes, and you feel the rough hands of these cops just kind of throw you into it. And you go stumbling around and scraping yourself. And you are in a parking lot all of a sudden. You look at your hands, you look at your forearm, scuffed, bruised. You look around and you are nowhere near a building. You're not even within 100 feet of a building. Roll sand.
Okay. Fail, 58.
Roll a d4. Unnatural.
3.
You don't have to do a different. You don't have to do another one. You're only really getting affected by the one at a time. If you want to switch out for something else, that's fine. If you think this experience might have, got that back, seeing the figures of what we know as like Barbas and Mosby and whatnot, like you. If you think that would like bring Album back to the forefront, and then something else would trigger like paranoia or whatever, that's fine too.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think so. I think Album would like snap back in, and Marvin would go back into hibernation. And yeah, I would say paranoia would be kind of what's going on.
Okay. We're gonna cut back to Vessel and Fawn. You're pulling the truck up to the turn into the Boxer Hotel. And you see the vehicle that had been sitting out, like you haven't turned into the parking lot, you're still in the street.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the vehicle that had been out in front of the Boxer Hotel this whole time, casing, just turn out in front of you. Doesn't notice you, doesn't see you, just turns right out in front of you. What do you want to do? You don't know who these people work for. You have no idea who they are. And you see this car just kind of turn right out in front of you. And you notice as they're turning, they don't seem to see you. What do you want to do?
We should follow them, don't you think?
All of them. I thought we were trying to avoid them.
I'm curious who they are. Maybe just follow them for a little bit, and if it doesn't go anywhere, then we'll go back.
All right, what's there to lose then?
Okay.
Hopefully just a little time.
Who's driving?
Let me
I was
see.
assuming Vessel was driving.
Yeah, I'm driving. I'll tail him for a bit.
Okay. Roll stealth or driving, whichever is lower for you.
My drive is success.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So as they turned out, you kind of got the truck behind, and you're keeping a healthy distance. They don't seem to be driving particularly fast. You don't see them moving. Like they looks like they're going just slightly above the speed limit, getting into some traffic here and there. You keep a couple cars between you. Keep a good eye on them. You try to time it to make sure that you're not missing them with lights. You see them like kind of pass through an intersection, and Vessel, you look kind of out of the corner of your eye. You see this blazing light that you kind of ignore for a moment, but you can see this guy with his head on fire, and he's just kind of reeling back and laughing. You've seen it before. Almost doesn't faze you this time as you kind of quickly look, but you continue to follow. Get through another intersection. Fawn, you watch as almost like the perfect timing as you see these people moving across a crosswalk. And like there's a group in the front, there's a group in the back, and the car in front just splits right between them like it's a field goal. You pause for a second so as not to hit the trailing group, and that's when you notice that the trailing group are these figures with these gas masks on, these heavy jackets, these shotguns. They're just walking right across the crosswalk, and they just move across to the other side. They don't seem to stop, but you see the light of your headlight just illuminate them ever so briefly. They don't stop, they don't turn towards you, and they just walk across the other side, and you speed up.
Vessel, that's the gas mask people.
Yes, I've seen them before.
Where did you see them?
You see him in the brothel bin, right?
So I'm in a couple different places. You haven't been in the brothel bin.
Or what was the original night hotel?
Oh, that was the McAllister building.
McAllister, okay, right.
Yeah. No, that's fair. You did see them there,
That's
and
when I
you
first saw them.
yeah, and you guys have seen a couple times. A few of you have seen them here or there in the
Yeah, I
last
don't
couple
think
of
I
days.
had seen them yet, so that was new for me.
Oh,
About 20, 30 minutes pass, and you follow, and you get to like the edge of town, and this kind of industrial area. It's this huge, dark, kind of single room industrial warehouse, this huge thing. You're not sure what it's for. You're not sure if it's certainly not open now. You don't see any signs, too dark, there's not really lit up. But as you pass through, you see what looks almost like a department store. You take a look and you think that might have said like Kohl's or something like that. You're not entirely sure. But some kind of storage facility. You kind of start circling around the warehouse, and that's when you see the car parked, the one that you've been following, parked right there, outside of this building. Lights still on. And you see the two figures, doors open. I'm assuming you probably switch your light off or something like that to try to be stealthy. Get out of the car. One of them, the door kind of just leaves open. Lights are still on. And they go inside this large factory warehouse. You slowly kind of move past this car, and you can hear it's idling. Engine's still running. What do you want to do?
you said they both went in?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Fun. You want to take a quick peek and drive away if it gets crazy?
Yeah, I'm not very stealthy. I think you're better at the stealth stuff.
That's fine. I'm the getaway. Go for it.
Okay. Roll stealth.
I'm rolling stealth.
Or whoever's going inside.
Just the car, right? Or
Wait, what are you doing? Are you trying to? Are you? I misunderstood. I thought you were
Oh,
saying
yeah.
you were following them.
I was saying,
inside.
like, you said they left the car idling and they were both
Yeah, the car's,
inside,
like,
so
idling.
The car
Yeah.
is like by itself, so maybe there's something in there. You can like.
So just taking a peek inside the car.
Oh
to
yeah,
see
you
if
take a
there's
peek
anything in
inside.
the
You
car.
take a peek inside. You see the keys. Other than that, completely empty. You don't see coffee cups. You don't see cigarette butts. You don't see gum wrappers. You don't even see dust.
Is there a registration for the vehicle?
You open up the glove compartment box. You have what looks like an operations manual for the actual vehicle, but you don't see registration.
So it looks like a rental car. There's just like nothing. So, like I said, I'm not particularly stealthy. Do you want to go inside and try to see what they're up to in there?
All right, we tailed them this far. Might as well. We'll park nearby. And I'll get into this department store.
Okay. So you step inside. Stealth roll, please, Vessel.
Still, 28.
Yay!
You slip into the darkness. Are you following him, Fawn?
I'm shit at stealth, but I should probably not let him be alone.
It's contested.
so-
Don't forget, it's contested.
Yeah. I'll go. I will spend a reroll
Okay.
because that was a 97.
99 incoming.
I think that was Kaylee. She threw some bits out earlier for it. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes. And you hush. It's gonna go down. It's not gonna go
Okay.
up. 49.
Okay. The two of you quietly slip into the dark doorway heading into this factory. Let's go back to the parking lot with Album. What do you want to do?
Okay, so I don't see. There's no building within 100 feet. What do I see
No.
in my?
You're
immediate
like a
surroundings?
big parking lot. Consider yourself like in a Walmart type parking lot, but you're like
Yeah.
nowhere near any of the buildings. Like you just got thrown out of one, but you're that you think someone opened a door, you went into a police station, you just got thrown out a door, and you're nowhere near it. It like literally happened within the last couple seconds. You've got the scrapes and bruises, but you don't see a building within a couple 100 feet of you. So like you're just in like this empty parking space area.
Album will kind of like scramble to his feet and then like pat himself down to see like what he has on himself, while also like trying to recollect what the hell happened, because last he remembers he was coming out of the hotel room to get some air in the hallway. So he's like just panting and like looking around and just trying to figure out where he is.
Okay. So you start feeling your pockets and things like that, looking for any sign of your phone, your wallet, etc. You notice that you're uncuffed. Like, you don't even remember them taking the cuffs off. You start feeling your pockets and whatever kind of wad of cash or you might have is there. Feel around. There's a burner phone.
Since Album lost time, he's gonna open the burner phone, or take out the burner phone. He's gonna start inspecting it for any signs of like tampering or bugging or whatnot. See if it's even the model that he's purchased.
Okay. You flip it open, or you turn it on, whatever you have. You notice that there is like an app notification for Meetup. So like the Meetup app. I don't recall ever installing this, but you do have a notification of an upcoming event that would be of interest to you.
What is the event?
Take a look at it, and there is a meeting of the Encounter Group Saturday, September 12th at the Evoke Wellness Rehabilitation Center in South Boston. And it gives you the option to see if you're attending or not. It looks like there's 14 people who have already said they're going.
So September 12th, did it say what time it was? 7 to 9, I'm assuming?
7 to 9 p.m. Yep.
Okay, and it was where?
The Evoke Wellness Rehabilitation Center in South Boston.
Okay. Does it have any? I'm assuming, with it being called the Encounter Group, I'm sure that's enough for Album to go off of. But does it have like the same design or like markings or things that he would confirm that's related to what he saw?
It has the exact same quote.
Okay.
Laid out, and it's got as its image is a photocopied kind of version of the flyer.
Okay. Yeah, so Album will
you see the yellow sign as well.
Of course, naturally. He'll close out of that app after making like a mental note of the time, location, and day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then knowing that his burner phone has been compromised, he'll just do like a reset of the device. So like wipe it clean.
Okay.
And then he's going to start walking toward the closest building he can see within or eyesight.
Okay, you have decent alertness and everything. You're like within 2 blocks of the Boxer Hotel.
Interesting. He'll start walking back toward the Boxer Hotel then.
Okay. Get back to the parking lot. And your alertness is high enough that you don't see that vehicle that you've seen parked out front. You also don't see any other suspicious vehicles with people lingering around either. Looks to be clear.
Album will take one of the side doors and try to get back to where he last remembers being.
Take a side door. Won't make you roll stealth. Get up to the 6th floor. The door's closed in room 616, but it's there.
Is my knife anywhere nearby?
Did you drop it on like the hallway? Is that where it was?
No,
you
he
had it
wedged
on
it
you?
into. He wedged it to like in the door jamb on the floor to like keep the door open while he was catching his breath.
You do not see it. No.
Okay. He'll open the door and try and go inside.
Yeah, you open the door, go inside. You see your knife right there in the hall, like right there on the floor, just right next to one of the beds. You see the stacks of boxes and things. You see the curtain. You see the puppet, the marionette of Chelsea's body in the bathroom with the shower curtain over top of it. Yeah.
Album is straining right now to think to himself like, what just happened? I lost. He'll check the time on his burner phone. How long had it been since?
About an hour since the last time you remember seeing it.
Okay, so then Album's just like he'll sit with his back against the wall, looking into the bathroom with the puppet, and like he's just for the remainder of time just gonna sit there trying to recollect like, where have I been for the past hour?
What do you do when you hear the banging coming from inside the hotel room by one of the beds, like the wall that would be between one of the beds, the double beds, in the bathroom? You hear a banging, not the drums that you had heard prior, but a banging.
Like someone hitting a wall or like slamming a hammer into something?
Something like that. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a hammer. It sounds a little duller than that. But yeah, it sounds like something's banging.
With this paranoia going on and extreme suspicion, Album's going to think that like somebody drugged him. And so what would he do with the banging sound?
Yeah, it sounds like someone's like, if someone was like banging on the wall, like turn that music down type of banging, as opposed to like before, which was like rhythmic processional drums.
He'll just crack open the door to the hallway again, poke his head out, and like look to see if he can hear it outside of the room.
You can still hear it, yeah, but you can't. Yeah, you look left, you look right. You don't see anything in the hallway.
He'll wander toward where the source of the sound is coming from slowly.
Okay. You move over by the beds, and you see on the wall opposite of so there's the west window where you all went in and swam. There's the two double beds. The bed closest to the window had that strange contraptions. There's boxes everywhere. Then there's the wall, we'll call it the eastern wall, that is the shared wall with the bathroom. And when you look at it, there is a door in the middle of the wall. And you hear the banging. And it's from the door. You hear a rattling of what looks like some, like the door handle itself.
Is there a peephole on this door or no?
No.
Okay. Album will just pick up his knife and then kind of retreat into a corner of the room and just like kind of curl up in a ball, hugging his knees to his chest and just kind of holding the knife ready, and he's not going to move.
Okay.
Since he's super paranoid right now.
You retreat to the wall, you hear bang, 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 bang. It gets louder. Bang, 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 bang. You hear like the handle jiggling. Bang, 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 bang. You feel the vibration, and then the door bursts open. And you see standing in the doorway, gun pointed out into the room, is Agent Chelsea.
What the fuck?
Roll Sam. Roll Sam.
Yeah.
That's a fail, 90 over 30.
Yeah, roll D4.
2. Let's see.
2. Actually, wait. You're adapted to helplessness, right?
Yes.
Okay, so take 1 then, so you don't suffer from failing. So it's 1d4. And Chelsea, you have very little recollection of where you've been. All you knew, you just burst this door open. You remember something about, you think you heard somebody inside here, open the door, kicks open, and you see in the corner with a knife shaking is Agent Album.
You're muted.
Gotta unmute your mic. I know you're not
Oh
used to
my
it. You haven't
God.
played it in an hour and 45 minutes. Sorry. He left. I was gonna introduce before he left. And yeah.
No, it's all good. Chelsea. So last thing I remember is do I even remember getting stabbed?
Nope.
Okay, so
You remember the
I-
Boxer Hotel? You remember, yeah, you remember the Boxer Hotel. Your last memory that you have is being in a dark basement, tunnel,
Okay.
hallway, cave. You're not sure. And there was something you wanted desperately. And in your mind you just hear your own voice, find the bottle, find my bottle, find my bottle, find my bottle, and it's just kind of this mantra that just keeps going in your head.
What's behind me in the door?
Yeah, you look around and it's just this black empty space.
Does it look like a cave though, or do I only see darkness?
It's literally a black empty space. Like, you don't see shapes of anything on the other side.
Album. I need you to get a flashlight. Do you have a flashlight?
I'm gonna throw my knife at Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah. Roll ranged combat.
She's got her back.
Album's really paranoid right now.
Yeah.
Would that be technically firearms, or is there a ranged?
It's not firearms. I think it's. I mean, you can roll athletics if you want. Yeah, I guess you can roll athletics if you want. I don't know off the top of my head what thrown is, but athletics seems okay.
Okay.
Default to that.
Oh, they got a 1.
Okay.
Oh no!
Chelsea, do you want to dodge?
I would like to attempt, yes.
Yeah, you're gonna
gosh,
have
we
to
have
get a
rerolls.
crit and a higher. You're gonna have to get a crit and a higher crit than him. We had this situation last night. In our
You
other
have to
Delta
roll a
Green game.
0 then.
Well,
Why
no,
do
she
I
has to get a
roll a 1 on
higher
that?
crit,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
like an
I fail.
11, a 22.
We have rerolls if you want.
Yeah, you literally have to hit an 11, a 22,
I don't
33.
know the likelihood of me getting another crit for a reroll.
Roll a d4, album.
I'll just hope I roll a 1 here. All right, 2. It's not that bad.
Take 2 points of damage. Now, you can go ahead and put yourself at max health,
Okay.
and then reduce 2.
Okay. Yeah. I guess I leave the new knife in wherever it stabbed me. My poor body.
Album is screaming right now. Who are you? What are you doing to me? What's going on? You're dead. No, this ain't real. What's happening?
What the
He's just
fuck is wrong with you?
Album is just like I'm just gonna say he's in the corner, like by the curtain to the window, and he's just gonna do I have anything else around me I can throw, or no?
I mean,
All
you're
the
in a
stuff
room with
that's
all
in
of
all the
Abigail Wright's
boxes.
stuff. You could grab
Yeah.
stuff and throw it, no problem.
Yeah, he's just gonna keep chucking things at
Okay.
Chelsea, saying, "What the hell is going on? Who are you?"
I'm
Get in
gonna
the
assume at
fucking
this point you're.
bathroom.
Yeah. So you run into the
Yeah.
bathroom, Chelsea.
Oh no!
Why did you
No,
run
no,
to the
no. I
bathroom?
tell Album
Oh.
to go into the
Oh, I thought you said
bathroom.
you run into the bathroom. Okay.
No.
Damn, I was gonna stab her.
I would rather not.
Okay.
Like,
So
I've
what do
got
you-
a gun, and so I just tell him, just get in the fucking bathroom. What's your problem?
I'm just gonna keep throwing shit. Album doesn't even really notice the gun because he's so he's lost
Okay.
time, and now there's a zombie pointing. Well, he does. Yeah, there's a zombie just ordering him around, and he's just being like, "Who are you? Tell me who you are. What did you do to me?"
Ask me a question then.
I just did, smartass.
I'm
Who are you?
Chelsea, you idiot.
No, Chelsea's dead. We haven't done the ritual yet.
What fucking ritual?
The ritual
What are
to
you
bring
talking
you
about?
back. The
Last
ritual
thing you guys
of
were in the fucking window, and I was trying to get the thing to get you out, and then I'm in a basement.
What? No. Okay. We come. What? Yes. Was in a window. What? We're doing the Buer ritual. The Bure, healing ritual demon guy, draw a circle on the ground,
Because
clap
you're
my
trying to
hands
summon
together,
a
and
fucking demon? What are you,
you
stupid?
were dead. I watched your body bleeding out in the bathroom.
Did you guys forget about the fact that we're literally trying to stop the unnatural, and then you're like, hey, let's invoke
Did you
some
forget
more.
about the fact that you're dead? How is your blood back in
Do
your
I
body?
look dead?
You did in the bathroom. Fawn saw it, Vessel saw it, I saw it, and now I'm arguing with your ghost.
Oh my fucking god. I don't get paid enough for this. Where's Fawn? Where's Vessel?
Chelsea,
We
I would say, by the way, I don't think you would have a memory of like the
window
stuff
Okay.
necessarily.
Got it.
But you have memory of the Boxer Hotel just in general, right?
Okay.
But I would say more recent memories are probably elusive for you.
Just got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about. Fawn and Vessel went
Do you
to a
literally
demonology
not see
store
me
to buy.
bleeding? You stabbed me, you fucking idiot. Do you got a first aid somewhere?
Find one in one of the boxes, whoever you are, but I know for a fact what I saw. Chelsea was in the bathroom dead. Your face was slashed.
Okay.
Some other
if
part
I'm
of your
dead,
body
is
was
my
slashed.
body in there?
Not anymore. Because as usual, things just keep changing whenever we leave things alone. Fawn and Vessel left to seven stars, 7 circles. I don't fucking know. They went to buy a magical sword to stab your body, pike it up, and then scream "Whoa, lo, 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 lo," and bring you back to life or something. And then I go in there to uncover you to make sure some weird shit doesn't happen. And of course, because we took our eyes off you, it was a puppet. We know what I'm telling you. When they
Did
walk
you guys
in,
not
they're
remember
gonna have the same reaction.
the
as
last
we-
time I was in there? There was a puppet of me. Like,
Yes,
shit's
except
weird.
for this.
We already know that.
Then where did you go?
I don't know. Why
That's
do you think I
interesting.
came out a weird door in the wall?
Oh, that's interesting. Chelsea, you're not dead, but you don't know where you've been? What day is it?
When did you last sleep?
What day is it?
Why can't I tell you what day it is?
you asking
Or
me?
What's the last
Okay.
day I remember?
I'm asking Chelsea, yeah.
That's a good question.
How
I think,
fuck
Chelsea,
are
you wouldn't know what the day is.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You wouldn't know what the day is. That's fair. You definitely have full memory of being on this case, this operation.
Uh-huh.
You probably would have had memory of the Dorchester coming out of it, but you probably some of the last couple of days with like post Dorchester.
Mm-hmm.
So you might accidentally say a Monday or a Tuesday when in fact it's Wednesday. It's possible you could get it off by like a day or two.
Yeah.
It's dead
so
ends and why. That's right.
yeah.
Do you go look in the bathroom? I'm not trying to bait you, but like you keep talking, both you keep throwing out this whole body in the bathroom thing. Do either of you actually
do.
like?
I mean, I want to look, but if he tries to fucking throw more shit at me again, we're gonna have a problem.
Oh no, Album is just continually asking you, what day is it, Chelsea?
Yeah. Chelsea's just like, I don't have time to deal with you. Do I have a phone on me?
Album, upon hearing that, will scream, aha, and he's gonna bolt out of the room.
Okay. Album, you bolt out of the room. You peek in the bathroom really quick, and you like just look. What you expect to be there is there. The body of marionette Chelsea laying on the ground, wrapped up in the shower curtain, the silk bloody scarf, not actual blood, but glistening silk scarf of red pooling around her. So, Chelsea, as you reach for your phone, you see Album bolt out of the room. We're going to switch over to Vessel and Fawn, who had, last we saw them, dip into a dark factory following these two people who've been spying on them or casing the joint. You step inside and you see what looks like a lot of racks of kind of clothing here and there. You see boxes all stacked up. It definitely looks like a storage place for some kind of department store, somewhere that sells clothes, somewhere that sells like kitchen goods, things like that. Go ahead and roll either int times 5 or search, whatever you prefer.
Both of us?
Yeah, you both went inside.
I've
Whatever you
got
prefer.
roll.
Okay.
Succeed. 49 under 75.
As you start moving around, you don't hear anything. You don't hear any signs of anything. It's very dark in here. I assume you maybe have flashlights. You start noticing that there are literally hundreds of mannequins inside of this factory. Most of them are undressed. But those that are dressed, you realize look exactly like people the two of you know. You see somebody who looks exactly like Album and even has kind of this pale white-gray wig. You see somebody dressed in the same outfit Chelsea would wear. You see somebody in like a zoot suit with what looks like some kind of, gangster-like hat that you've seen in the pictures of Emmett Mosby. You see a figure wearing this kind of red silk robe. They've some kind of salt and pepper beard on a darker complexion mannequin that you pretty sure is Barbus. You see one figure among several that are dressed in the same kind of outfits that you saw Bale and Wild and several of the other patients that are all set up in a small circle in one of the areas. And you see a figure sitting down within that circle that's not dressed like a patient and is instead dressed exactly like Dr. Maximo Friend. You see what looks like a group of individuals kind of set up together like a back-to-school special. One of them is dressed in kind of this dark clothing. They have a wig that's longer, kind of black hair, looks a lot like Thomas Manuel. You see a shorter mannequin with like a heavy Rastafarian hat that looks a lot like Michelle Van Fitz, the poet who nearly killed you all in New York City. And as you're moving further inward, you see a pedestal where there's mannequins that look like the two of you and others that look like Chelsea and Album that are dressed identical to the clothes that you all have been wearing just this very day. Other mannequins that you saw of Album and Chelsea were like the clothes they wore in 95, the clothes they wore a week ago when you first saw them back at the restaurant where you met Agent Exeter. But here, they're on some kind of pedestal around this faux stone wall of fiberglass. Fawn, your mannequin is holding a plastic bottle in one hand and a cork in the other. And you can see that there's a sign in front of this display that says, "Find yourself inside a bottle." Go ahead and roll San.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Actually, no, you're adapted to helplessness. You're okay.
Aw, I wasted a good sand roll.
Got her. What do you two want to do?
I mean, I feel like my jaw is just agape. Like I'm just looking at everything, looking back at Vessel.
Yeah, it's a bit eerie and all, but what are the figures we called in there? Are they around?
You see no sign of them.
Then maybe I'll take a closer look at this stuff or find a different area.
Yeah, you go through, you look at some of the mannequins more closely, and like the clothes are brand new, clean. Like they've never been worn by anybody other than these mannequins. If not for the fact that they looked exactly like you and some of the people that you've encountered, some of the people that you've encountered in unnatural places. Vaughn, you see somebody dressed in the same kind of like knitted sweater as Castaigne when you're in the night floors. Pretty much everybody at some point that you've encountered along the way, you can see. By somebody, I mean not just random hotel workers, but you can see a lot of it. They have nothing on them. Like, you go through their pockets and you don't see any, phones or wallets or anything like that. And other than Fawn, none of them are holding anything. None of them have any signs or displays. Nothing.
Can I take like a finger off one of the mannequins?
Yeah, you snap a finger off, sure.
Whose finger did you take?
My home.
Your fingers feels fine.
Fawn wants to take the bottle.
You want to pick up your model? Okay, sure.
The bottle.
Oh, the bottle. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No problem. It just looks like it's some kind of cheap plastic bottle. You can squeeze it. It's like kind of dark, but it has like a cork. It's almost like for a display. Like there's an actual cork and fits as the stopper. You smell it, but it smells just like plastic. You don't think there's ever anything actually in this.
And the note is inside or written on the bottle?
It's written on a display, like a store display that's outside of this little platform wall area where the four of you are kind of displayed as if you would be in a department store. And it says, "Find yourself inside a bottle."
I want to look at the stone enclosure that we're all in a little bit closer, like the faux walls.
Yeah, again, it looks just like fiberglass. Looks like display material that you've seen 1,000 times whenever you've been into a Target or a Walmart or J.C. Penney or whatever.
I mean, I guess like Vessel, I'm trying to find something that stands out as different. Like, are the gas mask people in here?
You don't see that. I mean, I will say, like, the texture of the wall that you're standing in front of looks like a stone wall, which is not something you see anywhere else. It's got this, it kind of, but it's still fiberglass. But the texture of it suggests like it's trying to be like faux stone.
And so, Vessel, does that wall look like anywhere, like any room we've been in? That stone? It's not the hotel.
I'm not sure.
It doesn't look like the hotel. It doesn't look like the Dorchester. It doesn't look like the McAllister building.
What are you trying to get at here?
Well, if that's where we're supposed to be right now, where are we supposed to be right now? Like, this shows us in 95, it shows us when we first got here, and now this is where we are. But I'm trying to figure out what it's trying to tell us, or what this thinks we're doing, or where we are. Do I see mannequins of family?
Yeah, you do see like this little sporting area where there's some people that are, again, most of the mannequins in this, because this is a large factory and there are literally hundreds of mannequins in here. But you see this little area where there's some that are set up in these like little sports displays, a couple playing soccer. And yeah, you see one that is dressed in the same color of uniform that your daughter, your niece Sydney, wears when she plays for Maryland.
This is absolutely insane. This is like, that's my nieces. They've got a video in their room, and now there's a mannequin of them.
not sure what to think about it, but it feels like they're always watching whoever they are.
If there's nothing in here that we haven't seen before, like this freaks the shit out of me. But there's nothing in here that we haven't seen before to learn anything from. Should we check out the rest of the building?
You have gone around the whole building. Like you've
Okay.
this whole thing has been you, the two of you
Okay.
exploring the entire building. You've looked over every inch of the inside
We've
of
seen.
this building.
Okay. Can I try to take some pictures on my phone, on my cell phone?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, take some pictures. All right, you want to try this stupid ritual thing?
Yeah, I'll set back.
Okay.
As we're leaving, I want to keep my eyes peeled for the people that we followed in here that we never saw and their vehicle.
Okay. Well, yeah, you step outside and you go right up to where they had left their vehicle. Parked but running, lights on, door open. You look through it. Except you're standing next to it. You're looking at it. It's covered in graffiti. Its windows are shattered. It's been stripped. It's put up on blocks. Just don't see any sign of the wheels. It looks as if this thing, judging from some of the rust here and there, dents, it's the same model. But it looks as though it was abandoned months, maybe even years ago. And I think we're going to end right there tonight.
Oh no! Didn't we abandon a car at some point?
Okay. Well, that's
my
where we'll stop because we're at
gosh.
a little over 2 hours. I don't want to push it.
Chelsea's back.
Is she?
What is
And
even going on?
immediately stabbed.
You immediately throw a knife
That
at
is
her.
true.
Oh my god.
That is true.
I thought you played it fair though. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could you imagine if like I went back to like my OG 6 that I had like before I died, and it was like 6 damage, and I just look at Jeff like,
I would have felt so
Yeah.
bad if I somehow insta killed you
Oh my gosh.
You are
because I rolled a 1.
Critical.
Oh,
You
boy.
did roll a
Yeah.
critical.
That happened last night in our game too. I had an attack where I rolled a crit, but I rolled an 11, and Matt rolled a dodge a fight back, and he rolled a 1, which is like, hey, that's great. Except I rolled an 11. So
yeah.
if there's 2 crits, like the tiebreaker is whoever's higher, you know.
Yep,
So it's like
yep.
So I felt I even screenshot it and everything because I'm like, I'm not lying, because I had rolled it. I didn't realize I had left it on private GM roll. I usually roll attacks out in the open. All right. Okay, so we're done for tonight. Do we have Chelsea back? I don't know.
Album ain't about it.
We'll see. You
Might
all,
have to kill out.
I think
Shit.
you all saw her dead body, bleeding out, cold, dying, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
We've
I don't know
seen
what
a
the hell's
lot
going
of
on.
things, Jeff. We've seen a lot of
Will you
things.
still go through with the demon summoning? I wonder. I'm kind of curious. So that's it for tonight. Join us in a week. We'll be back. You'll get answers to some of those questions and some others, possibly. I'm kind of curious to where Album just ran to. Some say he's still running today. He's like in San Francisco. He's just pulled a Forrest Gump and he just starts running. Join us in a week. We'll keep playing some more Delta Green. 1 second, as I need to mute something really fast. There we go. And then tomorrow we're going to be playing some Blaze in the Dark, our season finale of our Gutter Witches. And Monday we'll be back doing Alien. Tuesday, Melissa and I will be over on the Sirenscape channel playing some Call of Cthulhu. Wednesday, I'll be on Defenders of Cobalt playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. More Delta Green on next Thursday over on Garblag Games, where we're playing through Viscid, if you're familiar with the scenario. They discovered... well, never mind. I'm not going to spoil it. We'll go watch it. It's hilarious. It's fun. Completely different dynamic, but man, it's fun. And then, we'll be back in a week. Thank you for those of you who hung out tonight. Thank you for the bits. We had a lot of fun. And players, awesome. Ashley, thank you for being patient. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure it came in. I thought we might get it early. I thought it might get early, but
I
he
was
ran out of the
prepared.
room. Yeah,
I
he
was
ran out of the room. I'm like,
prepared.
oh, he ran out. But it's all good. Thank you for
I got very
for your
acquainted
patience.
with my notes again.
That's good.
It was
That's good.
productive.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dip out. Let's go ahead and raid someone. Let's see who's up. I know the defenders aren't running anything tonight, but
We've
looks like
got a
Bert's
few
up.
Yeah.
Looks like Bert's up, so we'll go ahead and give him a raid. So if you guys want to just hang out, we're gonna go ahead and raid our friend Bert over at Steam Still Murder. It looks like they're playing some form of Dungeons and Dragons, probably some kind of OSR one for him. But have a good night. Hang out for the raid screen, and we'll see you next time. So bye-bye.
No.
Later.